absolute classic. I love that film, and I cannot wait to see what they cook up with Deadpool Wolverine. Everything we've seen so far looks incredible, and hopefully the movie delivers. But of course, here on the channel, I actually cover video games, which means that is where we are going to shift our attention to today. Now, I bet a lot of you guys are not aware of this, but Deadpool the Merc with the Mouth has actually appeared in over 20 different video games up until now, which is absolutely mind-boggling. I did not realize he appeared in that many games. So in today's video, that is what we're taking a look at. And of course, speaking of which, as I always say, if you guys do enjoy today's video, please take a quick moment and leave a like. Thank you so very much for your continued support. You guys are absolute legends. Now, with that being said, before we dive on in, I also do have a question for you guys, and it's a very simple one. And that is, going into Deadpool and Wolverine, what team are you on? Team Deadpool or Team Wolverine?
Oh, hello.
So Deadpool made his comic book and I guess just general debut all the way back in 1991. But his video game debut actually had to wait all the way up until 2005 when he was one of the playable characters in X-Men Legends 2: Rise of Apocalypse. Now, I'm going to be honest, the character is pretty basic, and he most definitely lacks his more modern-day iconic personality that we all love. But to give a little bit of credit to his voice actor here, John Kassir, he probably did not really have a whole lot of great material to work with, because to be fair, Deadpool is not really one of the central characters. He's more so just a playable character on the roster. I will say it was sort of cool and also very surprising that he actually gets an alternative costume in the game where he gets an unmasked look available as well. We then jumped to just 1 year later in 2006 when we got the release of one of my personal favorites, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, where the Merc with the Mouth makes his glorious return. Now, I will be honest, Marvel Ultimate Alliance is super nostalgic for me, so I'm probably remembering it as a much better game than most people, but man, this game was a blast, and for me at least, Deadpool was a huge part of that. Not only is the character really fun to play as, but he also got 4 really cool alternative costumes that you could unlock as you're making your way through the game. Now, Deadpool fans had to wait a whole 3 years until 2009 to see the return of Deadpool in video games, when Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 was released, and returning to the cast of playable characters was one Wade Wilson. Now, I never did understand why the sequel had one alternative costume, unlike the first game that featured 4 costumes, but I guess the bad news for Deadpool fans did not end there for 2009, because 2009 was also the release year of X-Men Origins Wolverine, where this is something that I hate to even call Deadpool was the final boss in the game. Now, I guess it is sort of cool that this is the first game where Deadpool gets a bigger role than just a playable character, since he's sort of the big bad boss fight that the entire game ends with and builds up to. But it also might just very well be the single worst take on the character ever, so I don't really know how good of a thing it really is.
Oh, I like them both. I mean, it's pretty awful when your mouth is sewn up, though. You know, it makes lunch a sad place.
But don't be too sad, Deadpool fans, because just 1 year later, in 2010, Deadpool makes his return, this time in a Spider-Man video game with the release of Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. Now, this release is super special for a multitude of reasons. First and foremost, because this is the first time that the regenerating degenerate is voiced by the iconic Nolan North, who would go on to voice the character in almost all of his future video game appearances and really establish his kind of beloved personality now, at least from a voice acting perspective. I also really love that this Deadpool is not just a cool boss fight in this game, but he actually gets his own entire faction of the Deadpool fanboys. And in addition to that, it's also unique because it's actually based on the Ultimate Comics version of Deadpool, giving it its own unique flair and spin. Next, let's probably talk about one of the very best quality games that Deadpool has appeared in, and it's also his very first fighting game appearance in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Fate of Two Worlds. Releasing in 2011, this was a massive hit in the fighting game community. It had really good critical reviews, and it also had commercial success as the game sold more than 2 million copies. Let's be honest, Deadpool was definitely a contributing character that helped drive some of that commercial success because of how popular the character is. It's also really cool because I believe that this is also the very first video game in which the X-Force version of Deadpool is a playable character. So for this next section of the video, we're going to take a slight detour off of our timeline and explore some honorable mentions as well as some rapid fire mentions. So without further ado, let's buckle in and get ready. Now, to the surprise of many, including myself, Deadpool actually has appeared as a Sackboy skin or variant in the Little Big Planet 3 video game. Now, as surprising as that was, Deadpool has even received his very own pinball cabinet in the Marvel Pinball Effects game. And let's be honest, with how popular mobile games are and with how popular Deadpool is, it's obviously no surprise to anyone that he has appeared in tons of different mobile games, some of which include the Marvel Puzzle Quest game, the Marvel Realm of Champions game, the very popular to this day Marvel Strike Force game, Marvel's Contest of Champions, Marvel Future Revolution, Marvel's Avengers Alliance, and even the card game Marvel Duel. And since we're on the topic of card games, one of my absolute favorite card games ever made is without a shadow of a doubt Marvel Snap. And guess what? The Merc with the mouth has a card in that game as well. He has gotten a ton of different card variants available in the game as well. But unfortunately, the card is not all that useful, at least at the time of this recording. It's not really one of the best cards in the game, but it is still really cool that Deadpool is in that one. And of course, I cannot wrap up this rapid fire portion of the video without giving a bit of a tip of the cap to his now iconic and one and only, at least as of the time of this recording, appearance in the Fortnite video game, where he was the exclusive bonus skin of Chapter 2 Season 2 of Fortnite, along with, of course, the X-Force variant being included as well, which was very cool to see. And again, we don't have any official confirmation as of the time of this recording, but there have been some pretty loud rumors about a possible appearance, or second appearance, I guess, of Deadpool reappearing in Fortnite sometime very soon to celebrate the release of the Deadpool Wolverine movie. He might be getting another skin in the game, maybe this time based more so on his design from the films. That would really be cool. I think it would be a great opportunity for people that missed out originally to grab that skin and add it to their collections. And of course, guys, don't forget, cheap plug here, you support a creator called the Blitzwingers with 2 Z's in the Fortnite item shop. Thanks a lot for your support. So next we jump back to our timeline and we jump to 2011, where we saw Deadpool in one of the most unlikely places you would probably expect him to appear in, because yes, Deadpool was actually a playable character in Marvel's Superhero Squad Online, which apparently, fun fact, while doing research for this video, has actually been recreated and is still playable in some capacity to this very day. Now, this next game is one that I hold dear to my heart because it was one of the games that helped grow this very YouTube channel, and that would be Marvel Heroes. Releasing in 2013, the online MMO that seemed tailor-made for Marvel fans that unfortunately then shut down just a short 4 years later, in 2017, did in fact feature Wade Wilson, along with a ridiculous amount of costume variants, and I think it might have actually been the very first game in which the Lady Deadpool variant was playable. Next, another Deadpool appearance in 2013 was probably his most significant appearance in video games as a whole, because this is, of course, his very own game, the Deadpool Videogame.
You know he's gonna call back.
Oh, yeah, because of the...
Deadpool! Hey, it's Peter. You know, dickhead. Remember when I called you earlier and told you no? I'm such a joker, because I meant yes, of course. The new proposal you sent over this morning went off with a big bang in the office today. Genius. Just genius. So, sum it up, congratulations. Let's make a video game.
See? Once again, our explosive personality wins the day.
High five!
No high fives, we're voices in our head.
Listen.
Now, this is one of those games that I think has its charms and some cool moments, but it was definitely not as good as it could have been, particularly when you take into account the consideration that this game was made for $100 million, which back in 2013 was a massive budget for a video game. So I think we kind of expected more from it, and I do wish that it would have been a better game. That way it would have done better and ultimately resulted in hopefully a sequel or maybe even a few sequels, as well as maybe a spin-off teaming up Deadpool with Cable.
Smells like tacos.
You like tacos, Wade?
Hey, it's me, with more tales from the pool.
Now, as if 2013 was not exciting enough for Deadpool fans, 2013 was also the release year for LEGO Marvel Superheroes, where a LEGO version of Deadpool was included as part of the ginormous roster in the game. But not only was he a playable character, he had a ton of fourth wall breaking moments,
Deadpool? I'm not dead, and I don't have a pool.
as well as Easter eggs throughout the entirety of the game. And of course, in addition to that, he also had 11 unique bonus levels that you could complete after playing the main story of the game. And holy moly, I'm realizing now, 2013 was a pretty great year if you love Deadpool and you love video games. Now, it was a whole decade later after the release of Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. In 2019, we saw the release of Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. Now, unfortunately, to this very day, this game remains exclusive to the Nintendo Switch. I do hope that it releases on other platforms at some point in time. That way more people actually have a chance to play the game. But Deadpool made his return in this one as well, which is kind of cool. The Deadpool has appeared in every single one of the Ultimate Alliance titles as a playable character, along with some cool skins. And I will say, in Ultimate Alliance 3, he did get a really great cutscene.
Taco! Taco night! We're gonna eat while the X-Men fight! Yeah! Oh, give me the lyrics. Taco, yeah, it's gorgeous and Okay, that's it! Someone's about to get a kick square in the chimichangas!
And finally, most recently in 2022, the Merc's latest appearance was as part of Marvel's Midnight Suns, where I feel like they did a really great job of portraying the character. I did think that they kind of captured his personality really well in that game. However, my main issue is that it just seems like the genre of game that Marvel Midnight Suns does not really fit the personality, or I guess the gameplay expectations that you would have from the absolutely chaotic Deadpool. So there you have it. Those are 20 plus video games that Deadpool has appeared in. I'm curious, did you know that Deadpool has appeared in this many games? How many of these games have you played for yourself? And of course, as I always say, if you enjoyed today's video, please take a quick moment and consider leaving a like. Thank you so very much for your continued support. In addition to that, if you would actually like to check out one of these video game appearances in action, you can click the video you're currently seeing on your screen to see every single LEGO Deadpool level within LEGO Marvel Superheroes. Thank you so very much for watching. As I always say, I hope you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. Peace out. See you later, alligators.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.